You're officially listening to Radio Supa.
Yo, what's good? We in the building. TJ Super Duper. Radio Super. Big salute out there. Everybody out there locked in with us for another amazing show. I'm happy to be in the building.
Likewise.
Yes. It is going to be an active night alert. Bam. That's an active night alert.
Okay.
That's what we're looking at right now.
Right. We busy.
You know what I mean? We got special guests in the building.
Okay.
Guests with an S at the end, you know. ForeverxxGenesis. R&B singer,
Okay.
R&B pop singer, ForeverxGenesis. She's in the building. We're going to be talking to her. She's got a new project out. She's done a lot of different things. She's had music in a lot of different films. And she's done so many different things. We're going to talk to her tonight.
Okay.
We're going to talk to ForeverxGenesis
Awesome.
tonight. Big salute out to my people at BTP.
Okay.
I see you out there.
We're smoother today with the
Yes.
R&B on the R&B tip.
On the R&B tip.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Later in the show, we got another special guest.
Wait, another one?
Yes. Platinum artist. Jaguar Wright is in the building.
Wright.
Yes,
Oh,
Jaguar
wow.
Wright is in the building. You know what I mean?
That should be interesting.
Yes. She's going to be coming up a little later in the show. She's working on a new project. She's got some new things happening.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? So we're going to be discussing those things. So I want y'all to stay ready for them. You know what I mean? Stay ready for those because it's going to be a great situation.
Wow.
It's going to be a great situation. You know what I mean? So I'm glad to be back in the building. How are you doing, Kim?
Wonderful, as always.
Excellent.
Yeah.
If you guys plugged in with us last week, then you understand we had a great show.
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah, we're celebrating the life of...
We were celebrating the life of DJ Nasty Ness,
Yes.
Seattle DJ Nasty Ness,
Yep.
Swassa DJ, Mix-a-Lot DJ,
Yeah.
Nasty Ness, man.
Yeah.
Excellent, man. I love the throwback. You know what I mean?
That was awesome.
It was an amazing show. I love listening to us.
Yeah. Is that narcissistic of us? I don't
Right.
know, but we don't get to listen.
No,
really
we
that
don't get to
often.
listen to
We're
ourselves
too busy
talk very
working,
much. Right.
making the content for you.
Right. So we don't get to enjoy
Okay.
the content.
So I got to
that's
sit
made.
back last week and listen to the show, and I'm like, damn, I'm funny.
Right. And I'd be like listening to myself like, you know what? Yo, wait a second. Hold on. I didn't know that. You know what I mean? But I said that. So I must have knew it at one point. You know
At
what I
some
mean?
point,
But
right.
Nonetheless, it was great. So I'm glad that we were able to do that. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
of
so
course.
rest in peace, rest in
Yes.
power, rest in beats, DJ Nasty Ness. And if you
Yes.
don't know, one of Seattle's finest DJs out there that really helped
Yes.
make the moves for Seattle to
Right.
be on the map, as y'all already know. And one reason you do know, Sir Mix-a-Lot, Kid Sensation, Maharaji.
Yes.
You know those names,
Attitude
then
adjuster.
you understand
Right? Just like that.
who DJ Nasty Ness is and why he's so valuable to the culture.
Just like that. You'll understand.
What did you say? You
Yeah.
said you read somewhere that
Yeah.
he was to Seattle hip hop what DJ Red Alert.
Was
You said that. You
Wow.
said that.
See, I learned
You
things
remember-
from
you
myself.
said-
I learned things from myself
I was
what
listening. I was paying attention.
because what I learned from
That's
you,
what you said.
what I learned from you last week
Yeah,
is
yeah.
that is the gluteus minimus.
Gluteus minimus.
That's what I
because
learned.
before Sir Mix-a-Lot,
Yes.
that's what we had.
That's what we were working
That's
with,
what we
you
were
know. It
celebrating.
wasn't we did, you know,
and
it
then
wasn't
he was like, I like Big Bucks, and we were like,
and then,
whoa.
you know what?
a lot of people like Big
Right,
Bucks.
a lot of people like
but
Big
not
Bucks,
DJ
like,
Nasty Ness. He
not-
likes them small.
He likes them small. He's
Yes, we
gonna
learned
take.
that.
He likes the gluteus minimus, and that's what we're gonna run with. You know what I'm saying? So,
Something for everyone.
salute out to DJ Nasty Ness, man. Beautiful situation. Yo, I got music coming up. We're gonna get into it. Yo, Vienna Boss, y'all stay locked in. TJ Supa,
Kim Drawn.
Radio Supa, let's go. Yo, what's good? We back in the building. Super duper.
Kim Drawn.
Radio Supa. Salute out to everybody out there locked in with us. We threw a bunch of joints at you, you know what I mean? Salute out to my man Marv LeVar. I just played back and forth. We threw a bunch of other stuff at you. You loved it, you know, just like that. That's how
course
it
you
went.
did.
You know, that's exactly how it went, man. Yo, you want to follow me? Follow me across the board at TJ Supa. Follow Kim across the board.
Kim Drawn, Draughan.
just like that. You know what I mean? And catch us all at Radio Supa, just like that. You know what I mean? Yo,
Yes. You ain't.
Yo, we got interviews coming up. ForeverxGenesis
Yes.
coming up real soon. I want y'all to stay posted. I got some music coming up. Salute out to my man Mav. Salute out to my man Willie North Pole. 100 rounds. Y'all stay locked in. Let's go. Yo, what's good? We in the building. TJ Super Duper, Radio Supa. We chilling right now, man. You know what I mean? Let me turn this up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Yo, I got Central C, 21 Savage, GBP playing right now, but I got somebody real special on the line. So we're gonna turn it down. You know what I mean? Yo, what's good? Genesis, what's good? How you doing, young lady?
I'm well. How are you?
Okay, I'm beautiful. First off, I want to thank you for taking time out your schedule to come over here, rock with us on Radio Supa. You know what I'm saying? Yo, you've been putting in a little bit of work. You know, I talked to my man, Jeff. My man was like, yo, TJ, this is Jeff. He's like, yo, TJ, yo, you got to get Forever on. I said, word? He said, yeah, man, yo, she's been killing it. Let me send you her stuff. Yo, he sent us the single. We was nodding our head. Kim, you was nodding your head?
Yes, I was nodding my head. I loved it.
That's my co-host, Kim Drawn.
Hi,
you know what I'm
Genesis.
saying?
Welcome to the show.
Yes,
Hi, Kim.
definitely.
Hi.
We was nodding our head to it. I said, okay, cool. You know what I mean? And then, of course, you know, I seen your name before and everything. I had just got done. I promise I had just got done watching Rambo. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, wait a second, okay? Yo, this name is looking a little familiar here. You know what I'm saying? Yo, what's going on? What's going on with you? What you working on right now?
Well, right now, first and foremost, thank you for having me on your platform.
Yes.
It's truly humbling for all the love and support that I've been receiving from everybody.
Excellent.
But I just dropped a 6-track self-titled EP called ForeverxGenesis, and this is like my pride and joy. I produced and wrote 98% of it, and I say 98% because Tony A, Dominator, Chris the Glove, and K-Day Mixmaster Tony G did some polishing up for me.
Right.
And so it was a team effort, and I was very blessed to have people like Chris the Glove and Tony A and Tony G be a part of my project. And it's been a dope experience. I was not expecting the love and support from everybody.
Okay.
And it's truly surprising and very humbling, and I'm glad that everybody's enjoying the EP. I'm currently being syndicated on 8 of the biggest radio stations right now.
Okay.
And it's not just the single that I'm pushing. It's actually all 6 tracks on my EP are being put in rotation right now, which is crazy.
That is amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah, so I'm super, super excited, and I'm just very happy to be able to share it with you guys, and I hope that your audience enjoys the single.
Yes, they have been as far as long as we've been playing. Yo, and big salute out. We've had Chris the Glove on the show.
Yes, I thought that was familiar.
Yes, we've had, and he's done some amazing things in the industry. I'm trying not to. I'm thinking of him and like Ice-T. That's what I'm thinking of, and I hope that I got that right. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Chris did a lot of amazing things. You know what I'm saying? So,
what would make you? Why did you decide to take that strategy to drop 6 songs at once? I mean, that's a little unprecedented. Normally, they try to do one, let it ride for a couple months, and then kind of slow release them. What was the strategy behind that?
Well, I was actually just talking to the legendary Julio G. I got to sit down with him last night and have a personal interview and conversation with him. And I explained to him that when I started this EP, I didn't start this EP with the intention of being promoted as an artist. I started this EP with the intention of presenting it to other artists as a producer and as a writer. To say, hey, I really admire your work. I would love to work with you. I'm a producer. I'm a writer. I wrote this song with you in mind. And that was the whole intention at first. But after, Tony A listened to it and Tony G listened to it, I felt a little more confident in, coming out as an artist. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to put this out as an artist EP and see where it goes, even though intentionally I thought it was going to be just for sole purposes of myself introducing myself into the industry as a producer and a writer. I didn't. Being an artist was the last thing on my mind, but it happened, and I'm glad that things took the way it did. You know.
Yeah, I was gonna ask that too, because it sounds like you've been doing things for a long time. You got several different placements in different films. Tell us about which other things that you have music in, so people can go back and rewatch these films again.
Yeah, so some of the most recent films that I have placements, and that's for my Spanish catalog with For the Win Music, and that is Rambo Last Blood, The Craft Legacy, Walking with the Devil by Nicolas Cage, and a couple of Netflix series, also Major League Baseball, Fox, CNN, and one of my songs is actually being used as a theme song for a morning news show in Colombia right now.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, for the last 3 years, and those who know BMI, it's backed up like a year. You know, you don't get to know right away when you're getting picked up, so we just found that out. It's been a mystery for a while, but we finally got to see where it's at, and it's actually in Colombia.
Right.
Surprise.
Right, yeah, somebody in Colombia just, Genesis, I think I heard your song, you know what I'm saying, on the news. Right, that's funny, though. But amazing, you know what I mean? It's amazing that you're able to cover that type of ground. I think you touched down a little bit on it, but I was going to ask how the whole music thing started for you. Like, how did this thing start? Like, yo, you know what? I'm going to dive in and do this. What was the, young Genesis? Did you start singing? Like, where did you start singing all that other stuff?
Well, long story short, I come from a big family of musicians, and my father has actually been like my favorite musician of all times. He was signed in the Spanish industry in the Industria Grupera. So he was part of the golden era of the Grupera music, which is like Buki's, Yonix, and stuff like that. He's part of Grupo Anhelo. But before that, he used to help a group that was called Tinta Blanca, and they were the first Spanish band to be signed to CBS when CBS started as a record label in the 1980s. Okay. So my dad has a very big, professional resume, and it's been a part of my life my whole life. I just never thought that I would pursue this as a career, because Dad always told me, unless music pays the bills, you better go get a job. So I always thought that if I did music, that Dad would like be ashamed of me and be like, what are you doing with your life, Because Dad's a university graduate, he has a professional career, so
beautiful.
Yeah, so so music is something like he did on the side. So when I stepped out and started doing it and started working, I was a little scared because I was a mortician for 6 years before I decided to finally jump out and do music full time. And thankfully, this has been my full time thing. But I never thought it would be something that I would take seriously, and it kind of just with the success and like Dad says, unless it pays the bills, get a job. And so far, it's paying the bills. So I don't have to get a job.
That's amazing.
Did you say you were a beautician or a mortician?
A mortician.
That's so dope.
Wow.
That's so dope. That's the first mortician we've had on the show in 16 years. Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Wow. Yeah. I was there mid COVID when the pandemic started. So I was there when it started. In mid-pandemic, yeah. So it was crazy, and it was nothing, absolutely nothing like what they were telling on the news. All the news was like super strawberry shortcake compared to the reality of what was going on behind the scenes. Yeah,
really.
Yeah, because I remember, golly, because I remember them like, but I remember them talking about like mass graves and stuff like that. So I'm thinking that you had to be busy.
Absolutely. It was just nonstop, 24/7, and we were so overwhelmed with the amount of loved ones that were coming into our care that it just became something just unbelievably heavy for us, because we all take our loved ones seriously. It's somebody's mom, somebody's dad, and it just became something very, very surreal for us. And so huge shout out to everybody who was an essential worker and had to deal with the mental trauma of that, because it was insane. But I'm glad that it's over.
Yes.
And, and I'm glad that we're here today, and it looks like the world's going back to normal. So.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Or a different normal. But,
for sure a different normal.
Right. I think it's dope that your parents said that. I wish more parents would say that. to
Yes,
their children.
right.
But at the same point, I also, I'm glad that this turned out to be a really successful thing for you. This is amazing. You know what I'm saying? So okay, so the EP out now, or you said the EP's out, right? It's spinning and stuff like that on different stations.
Yes, so it's you can listen to it on radio on 8 different stations, but it's also streaming on all platforms. If you want to go look it up, you just type in ForeverxxGenesis, and the EP will pop up on any streaming platform.
Okay.
And I'm actually dropping a music video for my single "Lost in You" here in the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
So we'll be dropping a date soon on that. But for anybody who wants more information, could go hit the links on my Instagram account. My Instagram account is ForeverxxGenesis.
Right.
And you guys can find the links to all of my most recent interviews with like Julio G. I also have a interview dropping with Mr. Soren Baker as well. So there's a lot of exciting things with this EP, and I'm truly blessed and humbled that that so many relevant people in the West Coast are backing this project up.
Yeah.
Because it's something different, and I really wanted to put this EP out to set a standard for independent artists, because I believe that in the past couple of years, independent artists have kind of gotten lazy in the sense of the quality of their work.
Yeah.
And it's been more quantity than quality, and I don't believe in that. So I really, really wanted to put something out that was going to set the standard for independent artists, but most importantly, set the standard for independent Latina artists, that we can also be mainstream, we can also be thrown in rotation R&B. Right. I just really wanted to set a standard and possibly, fingers crossed, pave the way people like Tony G, Chris the Glove, Dr. Dre, and everybody else has paved the way for people like me to walk in and have this be a lifestyle and a career.
Amazing. Yo, for everybody late to class, we're in the building with the lovely ForeverxGenesis. Her project is out now. Give them the name of the project again, Genesis.
It's ForeverxGenesis.
Okay. Yep. See, there it is. Go chase it down just like that. It was interesting what you said in terms of like independent artists, and what I feel like when you said the quantity over quality, I feel like what happens is, of course you want to do what you can to remain in that spotlight. You know what I mean? And I think what happens with the indie artist, the indie artist that doesn't have a major push, or doesn't have a push behind them, or doesn't have a good team, like they put out the music, and then there's so much music coming out that it becomes almost a little disposable. So in order to try to hold on to that light, they try to put out more music, you know what I mean? And it ends up being a put a bunch of music out to try to hold on to this spotlight, because they're not handling it the same way like you would handle it, where you take the song and you push it. Like you think a major artist, when they get a song, like that song could be spinning on the radio for 6 months to a year, depending on, or longer, depending on if it's like Rihanna or something like that. You know what I mean? But but Kendrick's joint, his joint's been spinning forever. It was spinning well into 2024, and we're in March now. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think that's just because of the way his project is handling his release and really pushing it to the markets and making sure the right DJs, and making sure you're doing the interviews, of course, and all that, and the marketing is in place. So again, congratulations on that. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think what you said was correct in terms of the music. Them putting out music and it just becoming something that is being put out in terms of quantity versus quality. Right.
Yeah, patience is very key in this industry, and that's my whole intention with this EP. I'm going to work this EP about a year. I have 2 albums already finished and ready to go. But I want to make sure I strategize and I work this EP for about a year, and then, hey, if I need to drop something, I'll drop it. But if not, then we'll work it another year if we have to, But being patient is the most important thing, because music is universal and music should be timeless. So if your song's a hit, it's going to be a hit 10 years from now. So
Right.
you shouldn't get discouraged or shouldn't get anxious about, I got to put something else because this guy put a song and I think it sounds dope. Like, don't even worry about the next man. Worry about yourself. Be authentic. Be universal. Don't be the flavor of the week. Be the soundtrack to a moment in somebody's life.
Ooh.
That's a bar.
You know what I'm saying? That's
Right.
that's my motto, is like, don't be the flavor of the week. Be the soundtrack of a moment in somebody's life. And that's I stand by that. And I'm just here living the dream that my ex-manager that passed from COVID had for me. And I'm here just to put it out and, you know, represent, you know, Violator in the best way, and be an artist, and just, you know, help everybody out. You know,
Right.
That's a strong model to live by. I think
Yeah,
that's
it is.
a good
Yeah, it is.
foundation for success.
That's
there.
the hip hop quotable tonight. That's what that is. That's what that is. Yo, real quick, we're not finished with you, but I want you to give everybody, what's your social media so they can follow you again? Give it to them.
So my main source of social media right now is Instagram, and it's ForeverxGenesis.
Okay.
And in my bio, you can find the links to like my YouTube, Spotify, and things like that.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yo, we in the building. Forever Genesis. Yo, Genesis, I got this segment I call
Hold your hats.
the scenario.
Take
You know
it
what
off.
I mean? And I got a Busta Rhymes sample playing right now. You know what I mean? So this is what it is. You know what I mean? They're coming to you and they say, "Yo, you know what, Genesis? We're working on putting together a CD that we are going to send to an indigenous culture that does not have music in the middle of an island in the middle of the Pacific, you know, and we want you to choose 5 songs to put on that CD. So when they get it, they'll have music to listen to, and it'll be music that you chose. Which 5 songs would you put on that CD? It's 5 songs. They can fit 5 songs on the CD, Kim?
5 songs.
5 songs?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Which 5 songs would you put on that CD to send to this indigenous culture that has no music?
I gotta give one to my girl Monica, and that would be Before You Walk Out of My Life.
Okay.
Because, you know, you gotta give them one, so that's one. But my second one would be Cold Getting Done by Just Ice, then Funky For You by Nice and Smooth.
Okay.
And then it would probably be I Ain't No Joke by Eric B. and Rakim.
Rakim. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I think you got, is that one more? Did
One
you
more.
actually got one more?
He's got one more.
Yeah, the one more, and it's the most important. It's the most important one for me right now because this generation just doesn't get it. That'd be The Vapors by Biz Markie.
Stop it.
Rest in peace, bitch.
Stop.
You got the vapors.
Yeah, I know. Yo,
I'm gonna make it real funky for you.
Yo,
I really
big
like
salute,
that one too.
big
That was-
salute.
I think she passed the scenario.
she passed the scenario, and I'm
Definitely.
probably gonna make a copy of that CD
want
before
it, yeah.
it goes to the indigenous culture. I gotta ask you what you were listening to when you came up, girl. That's what I gotta ask you now that I heard your top 5 for this CD going to the indigenous cultures. What stuff were you listening to coming up? Young Genesis, high school. What are you bumping?
Well, up until I was about 18, 19 years old, at a mom and dad's house. I grew up in a Christian home, so that's not a secret.
Okay.
So we were not allowed to listen to what's called secular music. So I listened to a lot of gospel music. I listened to the Clark sisters, Kara Sheard,
Yeah.
Stacey Orico, Jackie Velasquez, etc. But then when I turned 18, I was out of the house.
Mm-hmm.
I started getting introduced into like hip hop. Roxanne Shante, Foxy Brown, Lil Kim, and I was like, what is this? And I was texting my cousin, I was like, hey, check this song out, it's dope. Like, where can I get it? And he's like, that's been out for like 30 years. You're like way behind. I'm like, what? You know, that's how naive I was. And this is back when like YouTube was barely getting started. There wasn't streaming sites, so this was like Napstar days, you know?
Yeah.
So I didn't know what it was, and I was like, oh, okay. So then I just started going like heads deep into what music was, like the industry, and I started getting introduced to, you know, Just Ice, Biz Markie, Biggie Smalls, just the whole hip hop. That I started with the foundation: Eric B. Rakim, Roxanne Shante, Queen Latifah. So I started from the beginning and to now. And I don't care what anybody says, but the beginning has been the best ever. So that's been my playlist.
Yeah.
And
she's not wrong.
No, she's definitely not wrong. And you know what? I am proudly amazed at you know what I mean, at your music knowledge, at a loss for a better way to describe it. And there is, but I probably won't think of it for the sake of this interview. But I'm proudly amazed at it, you know, because when you were telling me those names, I'm thinking like, wait a second, hold on. And I don't want you to tell me how old you are, but I was thinking she looks so young to be talking about the Vapors, you know what I'm saying? Because I think that was like late 80s or something like that, if I'm not incorrect, you know? So I'm saying that, and then you know, Roxanne Shante, of course. I ain't no joke. Like, you know, I remember when that came out, and it was just, it was amazing. You know what I mean? So you know, so when you were telling me the story, I'm like, yo, wait, how is she getting introduced to this? Like, how does that happen? Because I still bump into people this day that don't go there. You know what I mean? And they seem like they have at least a little bit of age on them, but they still didn't go there. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So big salute to those friends that sent you them links and sent them to you. You know what I'm saying? Salute out to them. Tell them radio.
Funny story about that. I definitely will. But a short story funny about that is that when I was recording "Lost in You," which is the record that we're pushing, there's this line that says, we got the hoochies and your baby mama hating. And I remember Tony A heard hoochies. He's like, hoochies is played out. I haven't heard that word since the 80s. And I said, you know what? Well, I'm going to bring it back. And it turned into a big old dispute. He's like, no, I don't think you should use it. I said, you know what, Tony? I don't care what you say. This is my song. I'm going to use hoochies. You know? And then when the day it got picked up, I kid you not, the day it got picked up, I recorded it and I sent it to Tony. And I called him right away. I said, Tony, check your Instagram. He's like, why? I said, check your Instagram. And he listened to it. I said, I told you that hoochies was going to be on the radio in 2025. And he just started busting up laughing. He's like, you proved me wrong. I said, yeah, and I got like 3 more up my sleeve too. So all that 80s lingo is coming back.
Yeah, I love the so 80s lingo. That's fresh.
This is so funny. Yo, Forever, I got to thank you again for coming over here to rock with us. You know what I mean? Golly, I got your song loaded up. We're going to play Lost in You for everybody out there, you know, to give you a taste if you haven't already heard ForeverxGenesis, you know what I mean, or your Instagram is broken, or you don't have a good internet connection and you're not familiar with her, you know what I'm saying?
Indigenous,
definitely, or you're from an indigenous culture with no music, you know what I'm saying? Then drop some ForeverxGenesis on you. So again, real quick, I want you to give some shout outs, give out your social media one more time, and then we're gonna slide into this Lost in You.
First and foremost, a huge shout out to you guys and everybody tuned in. I truly appreciate you guys taking the time to listen, to tune in, and to actually, you know, listen to my story. Just shout out to KD Mixmaster Tony G, Krista Love Taylor, Tony A, and DJ Dominator Dominguez. I truly appreciate them for helping me finish this project. And you know, man, shout out to God, man. He's been the source of everything, and I am so confident in my identity in Christ that I know where this project is going to go, and any doors that are for me will be open. So huge shout out to that. And don't be unashamed of loving the Lord no matter what lifestyle that you live. And my Instagram is ForeverxGenesis. You can find all my links in my bio. And for those of you who still got CD players and cassette players, because we just pressed cassettes, so we got vinyl, CDs, and cassettes available on my Shopify. So if you guys want to go check that out, everything goes out signed with a free poster. I truly appreciate the love and support, and I hope to meet every single one of you guys soon at a show somewhere near you.
Yes.
Looking forward to that.
That was beautiful. Beautiful. I'm going to slide into this. You're definitely in the right place. I'm going to slide into this Lost in You by ForeverxGenesis. Y'all stay locked in. Genesis, you don't go nowhere. Everybody else will be right back. Let's go.
Baby,
anytime I'm near you. The rush I get when I feel